we're talking about future-proofing your business. What do you need to do to be able to prepare your business for the future, and how can you leverage technology to do that? So when we talk about planning for the future, it can be really tough to predict 2, 3. The further out you go, the cloudier it gets. What I found interesting is Amazon takes an interesting approach to strategic planning. They don't necessarily try to predict the future in terms of what's going to change or what's going to be different. What they look at is to say, what's not going to change in 10 years, and then build their business around that. For example, clients like, really quick shipping. They like low prices, those type of things, right? But when you take a look at that in terms of the business management community and your clients, is to take a look at in your business to say, what's not going to change in 10 years? What's not going to change in 10 years is that your employees are going to be your most important asset like they are today. And the other thing is that it's your biggest expense. It's your biggest line item, right? So that's going to continue to be a factor 10 years from now. The ability to attract and retain talent is going to continue to be a factor in how successful your business are. Your clients' personal lives are going to continue to become more complex. As you can see, that kind of acceleration of complexity is happening within your clients' personal and business lives is going, and they're going to be ever more dependent upon their phone. And we'll get into this a little bit, but there is this kind of immediate access to information that they experience today because of that device. And then the other thing that you're going to see is that bad actors are going to continue to become more sophisticated, that they're going to be targeting these individuals. And unfortunately, with things like AI, they're going to be able to target it with much greater sophistication. So these are all type of things that we can say are going to be part of things that you're going to need to deal with, and factors in your business, now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I like this quote a lot from William Gibson. It says, "The future's here, it's just not evenly distributed." What it is and what it means in context is that there are things there that are happening today that are niches that maybe we're in the mainstream's not fully aware of, but in certain markets, in certain areas of the economy, there are certain trends that are going on that will be tomorrow's mainstream type of technology, would be tomorrow's trend. So the future is here. It's just not even distributed. I think this quote holds up quite a bit. And I think you look at some of these things like AI has been going on for 10 years. People have been working on that for a long, long time. It may be just now impacting people with ChatGPT and OpenAI that have come onto the scene, and what Google's offering, because they've been working on these things for a long time and they're now having mainstream applicability. So the future is here. So it's not necessarily talking about things that are haven't been invented yet. It's just about things that are maybe more nascent that are going to become more mainstream. I think when we take a look at it, some of the key requirements for future-proofing your business, these are going to be some of the key ingredients that you're going to need. And see, these are the things that you should think about when you're looking at evaluating new technology, whatever it may be, right? I think you're going to need to take a look at, having a digital client experience. That COVID, I think, was certainly one of those things where this trend was going on for a long time, and it has accelerated that. I think APIs and integrations are a key component about that has been a lot of progress in that area. Outsourcing has been a major trend, and having services, and then certainly artificial intelligence has been a major trend that has really kind of taken the market by storm, and it's been a huge factor lately. So I think when you think about the digital client experience, you need to think about what's going on in your client's personal lives. So with this term, the consumerization of IT. So what that means is, on their phone, they're dealing with computing power that wasn't available 10, 20 years ago. It certainly wasn't available on a retail level. That your client's device of choice, they want instant access to information. They want access to the information on the palm of their hands. They're using products today, Google, Amazon, Mint, some of these other products. They're simple to use, they're elegant, and they have instant access to information. So information isn't, 30 days after the quarter close or 30 days after the month close. They're looking at, in some cases, things that are near real time. Um, Clients are going to want to be able to run their fingers through their money. They're going to be able to understand what their cash flow situation is. They want to be able to answer questions, and I think this is both good for the business manager and the client is when they can kind of answer their own questions without having to get a hold of somebody. At least some of those basic questions that allows that client interaction that you do have with them to be much more meaningful. So there's the ability for this self-service, and there's also a way in which you should be thinking about, can my clients share information with me in a secure manner, and can they share information with me in an integrated manner? So I think a lot of times when these client portals, they fall down in a couple different areas. One is they fall down because they don't necessarily add the value, provide the value to the clients. The client, they log into it once and they don't come back. So you need to be able to they need to be easy to use, and they need to be able to add value to clients. That means they need to be able to provide the information that they want in the way they want it, when they want it, and then to be able to do some of these other things, such as being able to submit service requests, be able to upload tax documents, those type of things in an easy and secure manner. Open platform. So this is, a big factor for us and a design philosophy for us, being part of a best of breed. So API connectivity. So there's application programming interface is what API stands for. Previous ways in which, systems had integrated with each other was kind of this import export type of thing, where you had files, and there are CSV files, and you had to get them in a certain format. APIs are a way in which machines can talk to machines in a very kind of programmatic way. So that's where two vendors kind of integrate with each other, and the client isn't stuck with this science experiment, right? So it also is a much more secure way. There is authentication. There's a sign-on process that's involved with this, and there isn't this digital gas that you have with that import export and these files that get left over that are just data that's really sensitive that you don't want to have hanging out there. We're a big believer in open platform in terms of data aggregation, be able to bring in credit card information from any credit card, be able to bring in third-party bank information, and we're bank agnostic. So we want to have great relationships and great banking integrations with the banks that our clients use. And I think what you've seen with the recent banking crisis with some of these banks that are what were perceived very stable, and then suddenly overnight or within a week we're not, that it's important for, I think, business managers to think about having an open platform or having their technology detached from their banking relationship, and they also have multiple banking relationships. Outsourcing and servicing, so staff augmentation. I've had business managers come up and say, we can't even hire bad bookkeepers or lousy accountants, never mind find good ones. The ability to be able to attract and retain talent, especially in the areas around bookkeeping and CPA level staff in particular, is really hard. So the ability to be able to augment your staff and repurpose your existing staff. So if you can outsource certain capabilities, there may be lower levels such as data aggregation, reconciliation, data input, tax prep, those type of things. That allows your staff to focus on really more client-facing type of manners, allows you to be able to lower your cost of operations, allows you to be able to have that stability, can reduce turnover because you're not burning out your staff on the manual task, and can even reduce your key man risk. And you can take a look at outsourcing. Sometimes it's temporary. Maybe you're implementing a new system and you need additional resources during that time period, or it can be permanent. So those are the type of things that you can take a look at and say, hey, when you're looking at a particular vendor, not only is it a technology component of it, but there's a people and staff component to it as well. Then finally, artificial intelligence. We see this as one of the biggest trends and one of the biggest changes that is going to affect the business management community and how they do business. AI is not going to replace accountants. What's going to happen is that AI is going to, replace accountants that are using AI are going to replace accountants that are not, basically. And the same is holds true with firms that are not using AI versus firms that are doing it. And AI has a number of different levels in which it can impact your business in really meaningful ways. But one of the biggest ways, and one of the ways that is easily available today, is that it eliminates that low first mile task, such as being able to do invoice entry. So when you get invoices today, like in the past, OCR technology was not good enough or reliable enough to be able to be used in the area where so much information is what we call unstructured data, meaning that it is in a kind of a PDF document and it needs to be put into a structured format in which a system can consume, an accounting system consume. Now with AI, you can have a really high degree of reliability with that, and the machine can kick off that low value first mile process and be able to ingest those invoices and be able to scrape that data off of there and be able to kick off that process. So now what happens is the bookkeeper's reviewing information versus keying in information. You can also upload documents into the system, and there's document intelligence where the system will know, hey, that's a will, hey, that's a capital call, hey, that's a subscription agreement, hey, that's an invoice, and be able to automatically categorize that. Hey, that's for Mr. Smith. You can also have it analyze large amounts of information. So maybe you're onboarding a new client, and that client has a number of agreements with entertainers. They have lots of different contracts that they have. The ability to be able to ingest those documents and to be able to get a summary of those documents and the key terms of that, AI can help you get up to speed with your clients a lot quicker. This large natural language in the natural language interface that AI presents as well. It allows you to be able to change the way in which you interact with technology. So instead of, for example, with maybe a business intelligence tool, having to know how that business intelligence tool works, you can ask AI. It's all around the prompts, and that's what the future is going to be, is around these prompts. And Aaron's going to show you a little bit in a bit. You can say, hey, AI, show me a pie chart of my clients, overall expenses over the past 90 days, those type of things. So without having to know how the particular tool works. So those are some of the things that you should be thinking about when it comes to technology at a high level.